Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, there are so many outstanding YouTube channels, creators, content creators, men and women that are straight up getting the job done. So ladies and gentlemen, if you live in America and you don't understand what's going on, you don't want to understand. I started this channel because I thought good people, I ain't talking about, I'm talking about good people that, go to work, come home, work hard, go to work, come home, watch the news, and then the news is fake. They lying. They straight up lying. So I say, well, okay, everybody on this Democrats, it's because of the fake news. You got me? So I'm like, what in the hell is going on? I got to do something about that. So I started the channel. Been called everything but a child. But anyway, I am amazed that in doing this, I guess this is what I'm trying to say on this video right here to start off. Because I just been watching other channels. I'm just going to tell you, I spent all my time, I'm supposed to be on the camera making videos, and I'm watching other content creators, man. There's so many people that are so good. And I just found another channel the other day, News Life, I think it is. Man, I mean, I'm just, y'all don't, if you don't know what's going on, you don't want to know. And so many people challenging me, but you're trying to be funny, right? You don't need me unless you want to, because I haven't been making videos lately, I've just been making short, messing with people and stuff. But as far as the news, there are so many content creators, ladies and gentlemen, that are way better than me. I'm trying to keep up. I want to be great in everything, of course, you know what I'm saying? But this deal right here, turning on this during camera and talking to y'all, talking to people, there are some people off the chain, have great channels. And I encourage y'all to listen to them, because that's what I do. Vince Everett Ellison, Mr. Ellison, and Anton Daniels, and on the women's side, Melanie King and Miss Linda B. Listen, y'all, there's so many. I'm going to get in trouble. There's so many channels. As a matter of fact, if you go to UncleCoon, there's a lot of people that I got them listed. And then you can go to UncleCoon.com, and I replay a lot of them. I post a lot of videos over there of other people. That's how I started this. I started doing that with the website, and then we started the channel. But the website has been over there, because when I started on this 10 years ago, that's what I was doing. I was just posting, but I didn't think people were getting the information. And so I started the website first, and then I was just reposting everything over there, but nobody knew about the website. So, but it's there. But now we got t-shirts and all that stuff, but that website has been up for 10 years. But anyway, so we got the channel, and all right, ladies and gentlemen, everything is going on. President Trump has promised two things specifically that I want to talk about today. Number one, he said he is going to get rid of all things criminal, all the illegals, all that's criminal, that stuff got to go. All the burning up stuff and blowing up stuff and shooting people in the face and laying in trees, doing all that, laying on the roofs and all, doing all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people getting that mixed up, because people have, what about January 6th? Well, first of all, January 6th was one day. And what was that? 5 years ago? How long has that been? That's one day that you're talking about. But there are people in this country that's been burning up stuff and blowing up Teslas and throwing firebombs and protesting and slapping people and throwing bananas and doing all kind of stuff, hitting, slapping ice and spitting on the police and doing all that stuff. I'm talking about those. What about all that? You act like you don't see that. And so we making videos. But anyway, I cannot be as good as some of these content creators. Shout out to Big Dog Jason Whitlock, sports and music and a little bit of life on how you ought to handle yourself. What a great channel. And I also shout outs to Miss Shamika Michelle. She smokes. She has a great channel. Ladies, there are so many people. So I'm sorry, I haven't been making videos. I haven't been going live in it because I've been watching people lives. You know what I'm saying? There's some people, Kwame Brown. Kwame will pick up the mic and just bust people up. I mean, there's just a whole lot of things. Shout outs to YouTube in general. And I work at Greg Foreman over at Conservative Perspective. And then I could give you names all day, but I got them listed. There are so many people with such great channels too, where I find myself, because I have to be on here. I have to, be looking at videos so I know what's going on, so I can make a video, right? And I have just been enamored with the talent, and shout outs to the lead attorney and Nate the lawyer. I mean, if you want it's just, hey, YouTube is what it do. If you don't know, then you don't want to know, because you can definitely find it on YouTube. Matter of fact, you can find out how to fix your car, right? If you stub your toe and break it, you can go over there and type that in YouTube, and they'll tell you how to wrap it. So, and definitely you can get the news. But anyway, this is Forbes News, and the President Donald J. Trump, and like my girls say, President Donald J. Quavius Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, he's just sitting in the office. President Trump is just sitting in the Oval Office taking questions and just chilling. The reporters asking him questions and he's just taking questions. So, and I've made several videos and I told y'all, hey man, just listen to the president. You don't have to be texting me and asking me different questions. Listen to him. And you got to do that for more than one day. Listen to him for a week. And I guarantee you'll catch up because he takes questions from the reporters and it's supposed to bring y'all the news and do all that. But here's the man right out of his mouth. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is President Trump taking questions from the reporters. This is the news.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said you were able to get this deal done and so many others because of tariffs. Yesterday at the Supreme Court, the case being heard, the justices expressed some skepticism. What is your plan if they end up making a decision that's not in your favor?
Well, I'd rather discuss that later. I hope we're going to win that case. I think it's one of the most important cases in the history of our country. So much evolves around tariffs as a defensive mechanism for our country, as national security for our country. So I don't want to really discuss ground two. This is so important. If you look at China, and I covered this yesterday, but if you look at China, by putting a large 100% tariff over and above the tariffs they already paid, they came to the table, they talked, we made a wonderful deal for everybody. Our farmers, as you know, with the soybeans at levels that nobody's ever seen before, we were able to make phenomenal deals. If we didn't have the tariffs, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So we thought we did very well yesterday. We hope that we did. I think it would be devastating for our country, but I also think that we'll have to develop a Game 2 plan. We'll see what happens. Most people tell me we did very well legally.
Mr. President,
Okay, there we go. We got to look out for the farmers. I know that was the issue. There were things coming up with that. But I know, usually speaking, when it comes up on fake news, that means it's probably just the opposite. I know people were telling me, say, what about the farmers? President Trump hurt the farmers. No, man. President Trump is taking care of everybody. And sometimes there might be some growing pains. I'm not sure. There's something going on with the soybeans. But that's what he's telling them. I got that fixed. I'm not going to tell you just what's what because I'm talking to the people and I'm working out a deal with China with the soybeans. And then, we got problems with the beef and Argentina. Those are problems, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what the president does. And he's handling it. And he's sitting there talking about it, right? And so everybody that's worried about all this other stuff and all this stuff, just listen to the president every day. But anyway, let's roll.
To that, are you moving forward with any new tariff announcements before a decision from the Supreme Court?
This is
talking about the tariffs and how important they are and how he has used tariffs to get done the things that he's been able to do in the White House since he's been there as president for the last 10, 11 months, right? And he said tariffs are the way to go and they're working. He has brought in trillions of dollars have come in on tariffs and he's about to figure out how trying to get it to the American people. I believe that he's going to add it to the refund checks. Now, he might do it before then, but it would definitely make sense to me the way I'm thinking that he's going to add it to those refund checks, which, by the way, are going to be bigger than any refund checks in American history. He's already done that in the big, beautiful bill. That is already passed. The child tax credit and all of that stuff. So check out Tater Tax, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get your taxes done and get them done right, we know what to do. We've been maxing out tax returns for over 10 years, and we learned how to do it from President Trump. And President Trump is about that money. So we know what to do. Last year, man, we got some we got some money last year, for real. Y'all remember when President Trump went over to the IRS and told 27,000 people, was it 27 or 26? 26,000 employees to get the hell out. Y'all don't remember that, do you? He told 26,000 people who were in the IRS building and their main function was to hit you up for your money. And President Trump put them out. 26,000 people. So you know what that tells me is 26,000 people that were not in there. So who's going to do the audits? President Trump is about getting you your money. And ladies and gentlemen, you better line up and take a number and check out Tater Tax. There's the website. You can go on there and send us your driver's license and get your spot, and we'll put you in the system with that information. And then when you get your W-2s and your information, everything you need to file, then you can hit us up. Just go back to the website and go back to your link and put your information in there. there. But you can definitely secure your spot right now, ladies and gentlemen, by going to TaterTaxService.com and hitting the submit information button and go ahead and get your place and get your spot. It's Tater Tax. We filling up fast. But anyway, let's get back to the president.
The best one. And we can do other things, but they're slow by comparison. It's like as an example, with the 100%, I was able to do it instantaneously when we were threatened by the rare earths, as you know, the magnets. And I did it instantaneously. It was a matter of seconds. And it was a matter of seconds that I got a phone call, let's work this out. We would have had not nearly the defense that we had.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what tariffs do. And the United States of America, we are in position to do that because we don't need anything from any other country. We don't need anything. That's why it blew me away back. I remember when Barack Obama, Lord have mercy. I remember when Barack was president, I remember him getting on the mic and saying that, hey, y'all need to get used to it. All the manufacturing going overseas. I remember when Barack Obama made a speech and told us, the people, he said, hey, man, y'all just go ahead and get used to it. All the manufacturing, all that stuff is going overseas. We won't have anything. It just get used to all the jobs, like everything going overseas. And I'm like, what the hell? I was pissed. I got rid of Barack Obama way before Donald Trump ever showed up. When Barack said that, that was his first term. Just get used to it. All the manufacturing, all the jobs going overseas. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You the damn president. You supposed to fight. You're not going to do nothing about it. Why are the jobs going overseas? Ladies and gentlemen, all the regulations and all this mess, that stuff, that didn't come from President Trump. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. It's no way in hell President Trump can't be the problem. It's impossible because everything that's a problem in America has been a problem for a while. It ain't what problems have come up in the last 10 months that this man has not already handled. Name something that's come up in the last 10 months that President Trump has not handled already. And he's fixing all the mess that we were in. Come on, man. And you hate this guy for what? What has he done? Because he's only been in office the last 10 months. So what has President Trump done in the last 10 months that's hurting you? All the president is trying to do is put the criminals in jail and get them out of here. The ones that's illegal don't belong here. They got to go. And then the criminals got to go to jail, including these people in Washington, D.C. that have been robbing us blind. And some of them are CEOs and judges and senators and mayors and a lot of people that's in power, congressmen and all that. A lot of those people are crooked, and it goes all the way up to Obama. But anyway, I'm going to bring you the news, but I'm going to talk to you, all right?
It would be a shame. It would be somewhat catastrophic for our country. I have to be honest with you. I don't want to get too much involved, but what we've done, we're taking in hundreds of trillions of dollars. If you take a look at the numbers we're at $17 trillion right now. We're going to be at $21 trillion, about $21 trillion by the time I finished my first year. Biden, as an example, the Biden administration was at less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We're going to be at $21 trillion for 1 year. In the history of the world, there's never been a country that's done that. Not China, not the U.S., not anybody.
Did y'all hear that? The president said the tariffs will bring in $21 trillion. Bring in $21 trillion cash into the United States. $21 trillion. The president is trying to get you your money. Do you understand that? The tariffs have brought in 21, by the time that he's in the first year, so in a couple more months, $21 trillion in 1 year. Y'all don't even understand what that is, so let's go.
And a lot of that is because of the tariffs and the fact that the president is a competent president that knows how to use them. And I use them for national defense. Of the 8 wars I ended, I would say 5 or 6 were ended because of tariffs. I give you.
Now, you see, the man he's ended 8 wars. You don't never hear the news talking about that. They're not going to say anything about that. They're not going to talk about that. You got to come on YouTube and find it. You got to come to the content creators, right? You got to come over here and see what's going on. Lord have mercy.
An example, if you take a look at India and Pakistan, they started to fight. They're 2 nuclear nations. They were shooting each other. 8 planes were shot down. There was 7, now it was 8, because the one that was sort of shot down is now up.
How long India and Pakistan been fighting? What, 30-some years or something like that? A long time just fighting, you know. This man is the president of peace. He said that. He's going to stop all the wars. He said it. Matter of fact, he stuck his foot in his mouth because he said he's going to stop the Russia and Ukraine war his first day. He did say that. Now, he ain't got that done yet, but I believe he's going to do it. It's going to get done. But he's going to use tariffs to do that. That's how powerful tariffs are. And he's going to bring in 21 trillion. That's cash money, profit, y'all. That's money that people are paying us, other countries. You didn't get that. That's money coming in that people are paying and buying our products. And in the meantime, President Trump has deregulated gas and oil industry. People are building, those companies are building refineries and plants. Manufacturing plants are coming back. How many trillions in trade deals with all different companies, and how many different companies have already made a deal? How many countries have made a deal that's going to do this, invested money into the United States economy, and just gave President Trump, look, he got $500 billion, put that in the stock market. You see? And then look at all the money that he's gotten from from corruption, the money that they were stealing. And ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats and Republicans, all that stuff, all the same. If they've been up there more than 10 years, they probably corrupt, and they stealing money through NGOs and all this other stuff, and all these different programs that they got going in these different cities and stuff, and the school systems and all that. And the president has gotten rid of all that stuff. And so he's not even adding that money into, see, for the savings. Didn't Elon say he could save $1 trillion a year in just waste? If he with the Doge, didn't Elon say $1 trillion in cuts? So that's another $1 trillion, right? I think we're about to get to where we're not gonna have to do income taxes, personal income taxes. I think the president's gonna get rid of that. I think he's gonna do it. And I do taxes. Tater tax. You better line up, because people coming. They calling already. Wanting to make sure they get a spot. You got to go to tatertaxservice.com, click on submit my information, and send me your driver's license. That'll mark your spot. Because every time one come in, that's, it's boom, boom, boom. They come in order, that's number one, number two, like that. You know what I'm saying? Every time somebody submit one, and get a spot, it's in a certain order. And it's always there in that order. And so I know who to do first. But yeah, but anyway, let's wrap this up. The president's just sitting, talking, chilling. I don't know any other way to bring you the news other than to tell you to go to YouTube and click on President Trump, whatever station you like. If it's Forbes, if it's Fox, if it's CNN. I listen to CNN. I check them out to see what they saying. That's how I know I know why y'all crazy. I know why y'all crazy, because that's the only thing you listen to. I listen to them and then some, right? And then a little research, and you click on it, and you can do a lot of research on YouTube, because there are a lot of experts. There are a lot of people that do the research for you on both sides. And so there's some great channels. I made this video right here. Shout out to the content creators, the people that get on the mic and get in front of the camera every day to know what to do. I'm just Big Al. I was just trying to help some people on the local level, but I appreciate everybody, man. You know what? We hit 7,000 subscribers. 7,000. We only been here a little over a year. How long we been here? Just a little over a year. They say it take a whole year to get 1,000, and we're at 7,000. Thank you. That's you. Appreciate y'all. That's y'all hitting that like button, sharing the videos, and making comments. They tell me that making comments, of course, subscribing to the channel and making comments is the best thing you can do to help the channel grow, because that increases the algorithm when people when people make a comment, and then if they watch the whole video. So, and you guys, y'all doing that. We got 7,000 subscribers. That means y'all sharing the videos. I appreciate that. Big Al, UncleCoon, we appreciate that. The channel is growing. So I guess we got to get busy and make more videos, but I apologize, because I be on YouTube watching other people. There's so many people that know what to do with this thing. They know how to turn their camera on and get it done. But anyway, let's listen to the president today. Check it out.
Abandoned. And 8 planes we shot down. And I said, listen, if you guys are going to fight, I'm going to put tariffs on you. And they both went, they were not happy about that. And within 24 hours, I settled the war. If I didn't have tariffs, I wouldn't have been able to settle that war. So it's great national defense, and you have to be quick moving. You can't wait around for months and months while you're doing studies and you're doing all of this, or go back to Congress. Look at Congress. We can't even get a continuation from Congress. Think of that. How would you like to have to go back to Congress you have to do this spur of the moment? Because just so you understand, we're hit spur of the moment. You know, other countries have used tariffs to absolutely, they would have destroyed us. If I didn't come along, our country would be destroyed right now. The tariffs
You know what? I believe that. Let me say this right quick. This video, hey, we talking, right? I got the mic. But I believe what he just said. I really believe that. President Trump just said if he had to come along and won that election and flip this thing around, this country would be destroyed. I believe it. Y'all act like y'all didn't see it. You Democrats, y'all act like y'all didn't see it. Gas was $5. Gas was approaching $5 a gallon quickly. It was getting there. It was $4 or something in a lot of places. Eggs got to $8. Y'all act like y'all didn't see that. President Trump wasn't the president. Chickens, when everything was going up. Fires everywhere. It was all kind of mess. It was mayhem everywhere. Do y'all know how many chicken houses burned down to the ground? Do y'all see all this evil stuff? It's not the president. President Trump is not doing all this stuff. Y'all act like y'all don't see it. Look at what they did to him. I can't even stay on focus on this video right here. Look at what they did to the president. But this is what I listen to. I check him out every day. And I'll check him out. The camera's in his face, so I don't need no interpretation. He's saying it right there, and he explains everything. Do you know what President Trump, they said one of the reasons why he's such an effective communicator is because he talked to people based on a 4th grade level. So just about everybody in the room understand exactly what he's saying. He don't try to use no big words and conjunctions and all that old stuff, interjections and whatever, and all that old stuff. You don't do all that. He just talk real plain. You can understand every word he's saying, and he described everything. They asking him all kind of questions. But anyway, let's wrap this up.
Tariffs have made us rich in terms of national security. They've made us secure. And if you have economic strength, that's also, if you have a lack of economic strength, that's national security also. But we have great national security because of those tariffs. So I think it would be devastating if we lost that ruling.
But before the Supreme Court issues a ruling, it could be several weeks. Are you going to lay out any new additional tariffs before?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to hope that we win. I can't imagine that anybody would do that kind of devastation to our country. We'd have to pay back trillions of dollars. We've taken in trillions. We haven't taken in billions. We've taken in trillions of dollars. We've made trade deals based on that give us, as an example, European Union, $950 billion. Japan, $650 billion. South Korea, $350 billion. Without this, we're not talking about that kind of money. And they're okay. They're satisfied. They love us. I just left.
See, those are trade deals. Look at all that money. That's money coming in, too. The president is on his job. He doing it. He getting it done. And then we're not even talking about the people in the United States, the pharmacy, and that he have to fight, that he whooping their tail, right? They stealing the insurance companies, the Obamacare. That's a mess. He going to take a few questions on that. But, he's explaining everything that's going on, and he's just whooping everybody's tail because he has one thing in mind. That's America first. Point blank, period. America first. And he don't do no criminal stuff. Nothing. Everything he does. President Trump has won 25 straight Supreme Court decisions because he does everything by the law, by the book. And all that mess they coming at him, the R word and all that other stuff, those fake charges, 34 criminal charges, all that mess is being reversed, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't believe that you can't see that all of that stuff is a lie. How do people just lie to you over and over and over and over and over and over for 40 years, or however long you've been here? For 40 years, these people just lie. Every 2 weeks, they come up with something new. And here the president is, and he's challenging all of that stuff. And he's sitting with reporters, answering questions and telling you exactly what he's doing.
They all love us. So it's not like we're such bad people. But they were doing it to us until I came along. Now they don't do it to us. We do it to them a little bit. But if they took this away, we would be defenseless against tariffs from other countries.
Mr. President, employer plans and individual plans who also don't have access to GLP-1s. What can you do to make those insurers and PBMs get these same prices so they can put access for those?
I'll ask Oz or Bobby that question. It's a good question.
Absolutely. Many Americans receive their insurance through the commercial markets. The companies have committed to ensure that at worst, prices are at MFN on GLP-1s and are committed to continue to negotiate those prices down based on volume, just as they do in any other instance. Another really interesting thing we're seeing, though, is that commercial plans and PBMs increasingly are enabling access for their beneficiaries, their patients, to make purchases in the cash market and then still receive coverage under their accumulators and their deductibles. And so we're building that capacity, and absolutely, Trump RX is being built to enable just that behavior and drive transparency in the process.
Mr. President, there are so many Americans that report tremendously positive results from these drugs. What real-world impact do you think this will be? Is there an estimate on how many Americans may now take these drugs? And also about the informed consent on side effects. There are lawsuits against these companies that some people experienced damage to their gut health, vision loss, and other potentially serious side effects there. So how will we ensure Americans are able to make the best choice of the risk versus the rewards?
Well, I'll let them speak about the side effects, but I've heard about very little side effects with respect to these drugs. I mean, it's all positive, and that's usually not the case. I mean, usually you hear bad things. You see these crazy commercials on television where they tell you 15 different things that can go wrong, and then you're supposed to buy it. Very few, but I'll let you handle that.
At a high level, 1 in 3 people who can hear my voice are eligible for these medications. That's the magnitude of impact. And we believe, just to reemphasize, we will actually save the American taxpayer money if people use these drugs appropriately for the duration for which they're indicated. There are always going to be side effects of anything. Anything strong enough to help you, strong enough to hurt you. The question is the trade-off worth it? We know the ravaging risks of obesity and all downstream issues ranging from diabetes and hypertension to renal failure, dementia, heart disease, my specialty. But I'll ask Dave Ricks from Lilly to maybe start off, because he can give an honest appraisal of potential risks people should be aware of. There's no free cheese.
Oh, thank you.
Now, see, even one of the things that is going on is the medical industry, pharmaceuticals, and then, of course, President Trump is not a doctor, and so he has these people here are doctors. That was Dr. Oz that was in the White House today. President Trump is fighting the pharmaceutical people and the insurance companies, and the other guy was the insurance guy, where they taking the money, if they adding up all the money that the Democrats want to give to the insurance companies for Obamacare. So we take that money and bring it back and then just give it to the people and let them get their own. Okay, so now they got to figure out how they got to make that affordable, right? So when people buy their own health insurance, right? But if you have the money, it's not a problem. And so that's what they doing. They getting it all done. And so, but one thing they're not going to do, they're not going to give, President Trump is not going to continue to give billions and billions of dollars to the insurance companies as a supplement, and then they still charging us through income taxes. You paying income tax, you paying for Obamacare. They're charging you through your income taxes. And that started in 2020. When did Obamacare start? No, that was 2024, whatever it was when Obamacare started. And that's been hidden. You've been paying, it's been coming out of your taxes. Trust me. And they taking that back. It's going to be some big refunds, huge refunds, because President Trump is taking all that stuff out. They charging you. See, you're doing an electronic file. And so when you put that stuff in the system is getting part of that money that's not even showing on the screen. That's just going in straight on in there. And I know the first year of Obamacare, it was $3,500. When I put that information in the system, it was a negative $3,500 on the screen. Okay, well, the IRS the next year and the year after that, they'll still get that money, but they'll fix it where you don't see it on the screen. But as a tax preparer, I have to fight through that to get you to max out, to get your refund. We know how to do that. I learned all that from President Trump. So go to tatertaxservice.com, get you a spot, and do that by sending us your driver's license, and that way I'll know who you are, got your spot, and then we'll do the interview over the phone or do a Zoom call later when you get your W-2s and submit that. And you just go right back to the same spot. You have a link, and that's your spot. You just click on that. That's your deal. And it's be like you have your own little website right there. You just send your information and all that, the Social Security cards and all that stuff. It's encrypted and it's safe, and that is tatertaxservice.com. You better get your spot. But let's wrap this up with the president. But anyway, the President Trump is the most transparent president ever that I've ever seen. He just sit in the White House and take questions and talks about everything. So we'll wrap this one up. But anyway, I'm your host, Big Al, UncleCoon. We appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Can't touch this.
Real deal. That gal on the mic, UncleCoon in the house, dropping knowledge, stay true, no room for doubt. From debates to celebs, we cover it all. Tune in, hit subscribe, you don't wanna miss the call. Real deal. Al UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride. Politics, pop culture, and everything between. Big Al's got the scoop, you know what I mean. From Harris to Trump, we break it down. Common sense talk, the best show around. Real Al UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride. Cash App, show some love, support the grind. Big Al's on the rise, one of a kind. UncleCoon podcast, the place to be for real talk, real folks, and real TV. Real Al UncleCoon, bringing the heat. Every episode's fire, can't be beat. Hit that like, share the vibe. Join the fam, come along for the ride.